What's up, guys, and welcome back to Stories on Monday with Amy. And today's story is titled "That One Time I Flew on a Plane and That Girl Sitting Right in Front of Me Was Arrested and 4 cops had to come on the plane and drag her out." Here it goes. So, about 2 weeks ago, I was flying from Florida to Colorado, but I had a connecting flight in Texas. And I was in my seat, which is the window seat, and there was a girl who was sitting directly in front of me, also in that window seat. Totally normal. We took off. Nothing was going wrong. I got out my laptop, and suddenly I realized that this girl who was sitting directly in front of me is taking her arm and reaching around the back of her seat and tapping the back of my laptop and then looking up at me and smiling. Under 15 minutes of her tapping the back of my laptop, I realized that her feet are suddenly all the way up in the air, and she is laying down on her seat with her feet pretty much touching the ceiling of the airplane. And I was like, wow, this girl's amazing. Why am I not her best friend? So, being the smart person that I am, I paused the music that I was listening to, but kept my headphones on so I could act like I wasn't paying attention to her, but listen to this crazy drama that is unfolding in front of me. Her feet are still in the air, and a flight attendant comes up to her and is like, "Hey, you need to put your feet down," and she starts completely cussing him out and freaking out, saying that she's not going to put her feet down and she can do whatever she wants. She paid for this plane ticket, it doesn't matter. And little did I know at this point that that was like the chillest thing that she was going to be doing the entire night. She looks over to this guy who's probably in his mid-40s and is sitting in the middle seat next to her, and this mid-40s guy has his wife in the aisle seat next to him, and she looks up at him and says, "Hey, do you want sex?" And the guy's like, "Do I want it? No, this is my wife right here." And the girl's like, "Yeah, I know. Come on, do you want sex?" And the guy's like, "No, like, this is my wife." And I mean, she ignores him and proceeds to bend down and start to undo his pants. And this guy freaks out and stands up and takes his wife and leaves his seat and runs to go get the flight attendant. And I'm just sitting here being like, oh my goodness, this is the best day of my entire life. This is by far the best in-flight entertainment I've ever experienced. The attendant comes back, the one that yelled at her for having her feet up in the air, and is like, "Hey dude, you seriously need to chill out." And this girl is like slurring all of her words. She's very clearly drunk and probably took something else. And this flight attendant's like, "What did you take? Like, we need to know what you took." And she's like, "I'm not telling you." And just going on and on and on about how she's not telling this flight attendant what she took. And a female flight attendant comes up to her and starts like rubbing her back and being like, "Hey, you need to calm down, because if you don't calm down, you are going to be arrested when we land this flight in Texas." And she's like, "You can't arrest me, it's a free country." So as this flight attendant is comforting this girl, the other flight attendants are whispering, and I can overhear them. And they're saying, if this girl doesn't calm down, we're gonna have to make an emergency landing. So eventually this female flight attendant gets this crazy drunk, drugged up girl to pass out. And we land the plane in Texas. Obviously I was flying the plane too. The plane lands in Texas, and everyone goes up to get off the plane, and then you hear over the loudspeaker telling us if we could all take our seats and clear the aisle and wait. And in my head I'm like, oh my goodness, yes, this is happening. This girl's getting arrested. I love my life. So then you see 4 cops walk down the aisle and go to this girl who's sitting right in front of me. And in my head I just keep thinking, I am so lucky that I witnessed this whole thing. Here's a clip of this happening. I know that everyone's gonna love me because I filmed it exactly how everyone loves people filming on their iPhones, vertical instead of horizontal.
Okay, let's move. You're holding everybody up. I'll grab it. Let's go. Bam.
The cops eventually somehow got her up, handcuffed her, and walked out of the plane. And it was amazing, and I love my life. And moral of the story is, always fly American Airlines, because that's the airline that I was on, and they have the most entertaining customers possible.